everybody.
We're back.
We're back. And oh my gosh, Julie,
The feedback we have gotten is incredible.
it's really encouraging. And Julie and I just wanted to thank everybody for listening. Thanks for sharing our podcast. And we're learning a lot. And everybody who's given us feedback, you've been really kind and, just really supportive. And we're super, super grateful for you.
Thank you for letting us know ways that we can get better and ways that we can improve, and for sharing with your friends and your family. Thank you so much. This has been really fun. It's been fun between launching the first episode and creating this one, and just excited and encouraged to bring you more, to have more conversations.
For sure. So we had a couple questions, actually. So we're just going to take a little time to answer some questions. The first one was just like, we did our first episode on friendship, and maybe we should have talked about like how we started becoming friends.
Right. That's good point.
That'd be good feedback. You guys are so smart.
Right.
So, Julie, do you want to tell them how we met?
Sure.
How we became friends?
So we lived in Hawaii at the same time. Mm-hmm. You were in grad school with my partner, and we met through your relationship together. So I don't remember exactly when we met. You kind of remember working on a show, and I volunteered to help out.
Yeah, you helped to make puppets. Oh, and we were both getting a Master's of Fine Arts in Theater for Youth, which is a really fun degree. Yeah. And so I was doing some children's theater, and Julie was helping to make some puppets.
Yes.
Super fun.
And I suppose we met then, and then my partner and I had to come back home for some quick surgery that put us out of commission for about 3 weeks. And then when we came back, then I think it all blew up. Our relationship blew up, right? We
in a good
started
way.
We started spending more time together and getting to know each other better. I remember your birthday party, and I remember going on hikes with you and really getting to know you better. Just in a year we spent time together learning each other and playing, and the rest is history.
So anyway, but we can launch into our topic. Are there any other questions we want to answer?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we're good. So I just am going to start here because last episode I made a comment about self-care, and we'll just play it here. You also need to take care of yourself so you can take care of other people.
Right.
That's
right. It should be a sign that I'm not taking care of myself.
Tell us how you reacted after thinking about that statement for a minute.
Well, I was really I just, without thinking about it, I was like, yes, you have to take care of yourself so you can take care of everybody else. But then I was like, wait a second. You have to take care of yourself so you can take care of everybody else. What? It should just be, you have to take care of yourself. End. Period.
Full stop. Right.
Full stop.
Yep.
So I think I was a little bit triggered when I kind of thought about it again. And I realized that I have a love-hate relationship with the term self-care. And that's what we're talking about today, is self-care. Because I think that sometimes self-care just feels like another thing that I need to do and am failing at. So I think sometimes as a woman, I just feel like I have all these things I have to do. I got to take care of the kids. As a mother, maybe I have to take care of the kids. I have to, go grocery shopping. I got to do all this stuff. It's all on the list. And then I also have to take care of myself. What? And I'm not doing a good job of that. And so I think the term self-care, I've not always enjoyed or liked. And then I think the other part of self-care that I don't like is that it's often focused a lot on the external. Self-care means that you go shopping and you buy yourself something nice. Or self-care means you go and get your hair done, or you just get pretty, basically. It just feels really focused on the outside.
On looks.
On looks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that doesn't fix anything. I just
Right.
look better and I'm still suffering. You know?
You might feel better for a second. You might feel pretty. You might feel lighter for a second, but it doesn't address deeper needs.
Right. Like I still have my life that I got to go back to after I go get my hair done and go get my nails done. I still have to come back to this. And I got to go wash the dishes and it's going to wreck all my nails. You know? So
right. I got to go clean my house and I got to chip that nail.
Right. I still got to do all the things. So, and you, I think, see self-care differently. Like, so to you, like, what is self-care?
I don't know that I do see it differently. I think I agree with your statement that we need to take care of ourselves, full stop.
Yeah.
I want to defend my statement a little bit as a nurturer.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I don't have human children, but I have pets who have needs. And if I am not in the right mind frame, if I am not well rested, if I have some depression, they suffer because they don't get walks that they need. They don't get the exercise they need, right? So for me, if I'm not taking care of me, then I'm not taking care of them either, right? I think that was my intention. Here I am being a lawyer for my
for
intentions, for my art. Right. Anyway, I think self-care is dependent on who you are. It's going to be different for everybody. So I like to think of, we talked about this earlier, self-care as body, mind, spirit, or physical, emotional, spiritual care. So for my body, I need to get some exercise. I need to get good sleep. And all of these physical, emotional, spiritual overlap with each other, right? So one helps the other. They're all. So for my mind, I need to play some brain games. I need to keep my mind healthy and sharp. I need to read. I need to meditate. That's spiritual, but it's all the things, right? I need to make sure that I'm breathing and grounded, that I'm not living in this high anxiety space for a long period of time, right? So I think that self-care is dependent on, it's different for every person, but I also think it's different depending on what's happening in your life at the time. So right now I'm working 3 jobs. This job, which is not really a job, right? It's play. My 9 to 5, which pays the bills, and then my creative job, which is temporary, but it takes a lot of time. And so my needs right now are different than they will be in a couple weeks when I don't have 3 jobs, when I only have 2 jobs. So I think it ebbs and flows, right? Depending on what's happening in your life. They can change. Those needs can change.
I love everything that you just said. I feel like it's so great. Like, I feel like if that's what self-care means, I want that too. You know, like, it's just, it is. I feel like you're being very conscious and very nurturing of yourself, you know, your body, mind, and spirit. I just love that.
I think that's hard though, right? When you're, I can foresee my upcoming few weeks through Christmas. I know my 9 to 5 job gets really crazy at the holiday time. And so my needs are going to be different, but my mind is going to be on the 9 to 5 job. And so I have to be mindful and recognize that that's happening so that I can take steps to rest, to eat well. I mean, it will be really easy for me in the next few weeks to just eat crap food all the time. So I need to make sure that I'm mindful of that now leading into it. So then when I'm in the middle of it, I'm not like, oh my gosh, why don't I feel good? Why is my body so sore? Right. So it's being mindful of that before it comes, but you don't always know. Right. So if I'm in the middle of the Christmas season and it's crazy and I'm working really hard and my mind, even when I'm home, my mind is still at work. It's figuring out, what do I need to center to ground myself a little bit?
It's actually a lot of preparation. Like I think about You know, the little ant that worked really hard to like squirrel away food, and then the grasshopper who's just like playing around. That story, The Ant and the Grasshopper. It's like it's almost like you're squirreling away. I don't know, like care. I don't know. Like you're just sort of like squirreling it away so that you can like when the time comes, you'll actually be prepared. You actually have this sort of like more present state of mind in the midst of the
Yeah.
noise. But yeah, the holidays kind of bring me some anxiety, you know? I'm like, it shouldn't really be that way. Cause again, like that time is supposed to be, it's like Thanksgiving and, you know, it should be this
Right.
time of like celebration and giving. But then it's, it's become noise and pressure and anxiety. And I don't like any of that. The theme I see with self-care and with the holidays is just commercialization, you know, and just buying things,
Oh, yeah.
using money to buy things, you know,
Right.
like if you buy this thing, you know, then it'll solve your problem of being overworked and overtired. And if you get these salt bombs or whatever, is that what they're called? Salt bombs? No, bath bombs or
Bath
whatever.
bombs.
Bath bombs, you know, they'll solve your problem. If you know, get this whatever for Christmas, it'll solve your problem. So I think it's like this, I think it's the commercialization of things that are actually spiritual, you know, physical, emotional needs, you know, of just like togetherness, connection,
Yeah.
you know, like that's what self-care and maybe the holidays are really supposed to be about is like, okay, self-care should really be about like reconnecting with yourself, whatever that actually means, you know, like checking in with yourself. How am I doing? How's my body doing? You know, have I been resting enough? Have I been seeing the people that I need to see who bring my energy up? That's all just like reconnecting with yourself, checking with yourself. And the holidays, I think, should be a time where you're like reconnecting with family, expressing gratitude for them. Sure, maybe through a gift, but maybe just through time spent together. But I just think that capitalism wrecks everything. That's what I think. And so I think it's this insertion, like capitalism, maybe sometimes like buying things could be an opportunity. Like, this is a way I show love is like through this gift. But I feel like it's maybe just taken over. Like, it's like taken over these things that were true to begin with, which is just like connection with self and connection with others. So I think that's my qualm, I think, with self care is that it's just been over marketed. I feel like they've ruined the term for me.
So, what do you think the term should be?
I know. I feel like I need to like rebrand it.
You heard it here, folks. We're going to rebrand self care.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. Something about nurturing your own needs or remembering that our needs are important too. But that's like a whole sentence. It's not like a catchy thing like self care, which is like 2 words. Maybe we can
Right.
ask our listeners. Listeners, we need your help. We need to
Yeah.
rebrand self care. If you resonate with anything that we're saying, I think we need a rebranding of self care to not make it feel like it's just another thing that we're failing at and not doing, but another thing that's on the list, you know? And I guess the other thing I want to talk about too is like being a mom. So I'm a mom of 2 kids. My kids are 7 and 10. And when I was a new mother and I had, you know, a baby on the breast and another one who's like potty training, I had to set my own needs aside always, you know, like even when I just had one baby, it was like the baby is crying. I'm dead tired. I'm like the most tired I've ever been. And I have to get up. Like I must get up to nurse this baby or the baby will not make it. Like, you know, like it's so I feel like I spent a long time like unlearning that my needs were important or that my needs came first because I had to tend to somebody else's needs. This like little helpless little glowworm, this little helpless creature, you know, who needed me. And if I didn't attend to them, they wouldn't survive. So now that my children are 7 and 10, I'm like now teaching them to be independent, which is like also hard because I'm like, oh shoot. So now that I spent a decade unlearning that my needs were important, now I have to like relearn that I can also need things and that they can actually take care of their own needs. What the hell? Like what the hell? This is very confusing, like it's just, I
But
don't
what a
know.
gift to give them that
Yeah.
you are taking care of your needs and they can see you taking care of your needs.
Yeah.
They know that you want to walk 10,000 steps a day.
They
They
do.
know that you want to eat good food, right?
They
know
know
that
that
you
I
want
want
to
to.
talk to your friend Julie every day.
That's right. That's exactly what I was going to say. I want to talk to Julie every day and do this podcast.
And they know that this podcast is exciting for you and new for you and
Yeah.
important to you, right? And that's a
Mm-hmm.
gift that you're giving them. You're showing
Oh,
them how to take care of yourself, how
yeah.
to follow your own dreams.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving that to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're becoming more self-sufficient, and they can kind of take care of me,
Yeah.
by taking care of themselves, they can take care of me. And some of the best times, like it used to be a one-way street, like I'm just giving to them, I'm giving them love. But now, like, there are some unsolicited hugs and unsolicited I love yous, from them. And I'm like, oh, look at that. I
Yeah.
didn't even know I needed that. And here you are,
Yeah. But they can see it. They know when you're
Yeah.
tired, when you're stressed, and
Yeah.
they sidle in and they take care of
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
So
job.
thank you. Thank you. But yeah, it is that new motherhood time, like if there's any new mothers out there, I do think that self-care looks different for lots of different new moms. I was just telling Julie earlier that, like, I remember being just so tired, and I think I was taking my baby to the park, and I saw, a group of jogging mothers, they all pushing the jogging stroller with their babies. And I'm like, wow, look at them. Look at them killing it with the self-care. I'm like, I am not doing that. Like, I am wearing athleisure wear, but I am not wearing it for the purpose of athleticism. Like, I'm wearing it because it's really good to take a nap in, or
Yeah.
really good. I can like crawl around on the floor or something with my baby. But I think for me, during this time, even these past like 10 years, I was like, I know that this is a time I'm spending with my kids, and I'm not killing it with the jogging stroller, and I'm not like running marathons, but some moms are, and I think that's really awesome. And I know moms of boys who are like, I gotta run, Phyllis. I have to run because that's the only way I can keep up with these boys, And
Mm,
then, and for me, I'm like, that's awesome. It's like, I think new moms too, it's like it's important to celebrate moms that do things different than you, like just to be like, yeah, that's really great. That's her doing self-care. And me doing self-care is not like that. And that's
right.
okay.
And I think that's it. We all do
Yeah.
self-care differently.
Yeah.
And what you need is different than what I need.
Yeah.
But it's recognizing what those needs are.
And not to I think I've been guilty of being like, oh, I'm not good enough, like, oh, look at them, they're doing all this,
Mm,
they're doing all this stuff for themselves, and I'm comparing their outsides to my insides.
mm-hmm.
But I don't know what their struggles are. I don't know what that jogging mom struggle is. Maybe they're having a hard time feeding their baby, or who knows what's going on. But,
Right.
and so I think I'm super guilty of judging people's, outsides and comparing it to my insides. And you're right. Self-care is different for everybody. Yeah, I got to remember that. I got to remember that.
I think it's also about habits, right? Creating
Mm-hmm.
habits. And so I think the science or whatever is that it takes 21 days to create a
Mm-hmm.
habit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a long time to like be consistent about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to start a new habit of, let's say, meditation, or I'm going to drink enough water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Simple things that we should be doing for our bodies. It's okay if you miss a day. It's okay if it does take 21 days, but don't give up on yourself if you miss a day or two, right? Because stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
So hang in there. If it's something you really want to take on, then just give yourself a little grace and a little forgiveness. If you miss a day, if you screw up one day,
Mm-hmm.
we're human, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to be a human. It's hard to be a human.
Yeah. Agreed. What are I think you mentioned some things that you do for self-care. Is there anything specific that you do for self-care?
Mm. Yeah, I would say I mentioned I have animals. I have 2 dogs and 2 cats, and the dogs need exercise. And
Mhm.
oh, I'm going to get emotional already. Ah,
Aw,
of course I'm the first one to get emotional on
that's
this
okay.
podcast.
That's okay.
Um, I had some real depression a few years ago
Mm,
after I lost one of my animals.
yeah.
And it's still on the surface, obviously. But I have recognized that when I walk my dogs, it's for them and not me.
Mm, mm,
And I'm not real good at giving myself the physical attention
mm,
that I should probably,
mm,
right? To keep my body healthy.
mm,
So I've started a new habit. I'm trying to introduce this new habit. It's a little hard because I'm in South Dakota and we're approaching winter and
mhm,
it's going to be hard to do this for me. But I take my dogs for a walk and they get about a 30 to 45-minute walk. And then I drop them off at home and then I take myself for a walk. And
mm,
that's something that is new for me because I need that time to actually walk, right? My
mhm.
dogs are real good at sniffing every blade of grass,
Yeah.
especially if we miss a couple days, right? If it's raining and we don't get out for a walk, and then when we get out for a walk, they want to sniff every single pole and fence post, and it drives me crazy because I'm not getting exercise
Yeah.
then. So I've made a habit of dropping them off at home and going for my own walk for 30 to
Mm,
45 minutes. And that helps me clear my head. It helps me feel like I've accomplished something.
yeah.
It's very simple, and it's a good chance for me to listen to a podcast
Mhm,
or just be in my thoughts for
mhm.
30 minutes, right? Just to be it's kind of meditative for me. So that's one thing that I have started to do to create a new habit for myself and take care of myself. That's one of the things.
That's great.
I think for sure talking with you on a regular basis has been really good for my spirit and
Mm,
really good for my joy. you
mm.
know, what do you think you do for self-care?
Oh gosh. This was such a strange, couple of years. So I think this podcast is really the first time I feel like I've like reemerged into the world. And so I feel like I've just had a lot of time to cocoon and to be in solitude. And so one habit I've developed over the pandemic is just taking a walk and getting in like 10,000 steps. So I think it was maybe, yeah, it was last year, October. My husband got me a Fitbit. And so I was like, okay, I'll try this, I'll try this Fitbit. And so I did. I tried to like keep that habit of walking 10,000 steps a day. And I think it really helped me push through some sadness and some, I don't know, loneliness. I felt like at least if I didn't do anything that day, I could at least say that I did 10,000 steps that day. So that was really helpful. I think just checking in regularly with some friends, with you, same thing about taking care of what I eat, just
Hmm.
eating, at least eating some green foods and veggies every day. Yeah, pretty simple. I read, I read books. I listen to podcasts too. It's nice to have that some external source that's feeding my brain, keeping my brain sort of stimulated. I try to rest well. I've been thinking about that more as I'm aging, because the Fitbit also helps you keep. I am not sponsored by Fitbit, by the way,
But we
um,
would like to be.
but we would like to be. So Fitbit, if you're out there, you can sponsor us.
I also have a Fitbit.
Good gracious. Yeah. So it also tracks your sleep. And so I've been tracking my sleep and, trying to get to bed at a regular hour. And I do find that my brain is a little sharper. And the kids have been so cute. Just the past couple mornings, they've been trying to work us out. Like, so they'll like do stretches with us and try to condition
cute.
us. It's really cute.
I love
They
it.
both do gymnastics. So they're like, here, just like simply put your legs into a split. And we're like, no. There's no
Yeah.
simply anything. That my
Maybe
body
when we were 10, but
yeah, I can't do that.
not 10 times 4.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Not 10 times 4. Oh my God. But yeah, those are some things that I do.
It's good. It's good to have, these ideas of what self-care is to you, or what I don't know what our new term is going to be.
Know
This
either.
is really throwing me off a little bit.
Okay, we're back. All right. This has been really a good conversation. And Julie and I have a couple takeaways for you. The first is that self-care is different for everybody, and recognizing that self-care looks really different for everybody. So, and it's important to not necessarily compare other people's outsides to your insides. So you got to take a little time to figure out then what it is that helps you care for yourself. So maybe take 10, 15 minutes, get a journal, go for a little walk, and just think about what things fill you up. And maybe try to incorporate just one of those things into your life, and give yourself some time to start incorporating that thing into your life. Like Julie said, it takes 21 days to form a habit.
That's
you
right.
know?
I also think understand and recognize that your needs are going to change.
Mm-hmm.
What your needs are now are going to be different next year, right? What your needs are as a new mom are going to be different when you have kids who are 10 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
Your needs are going to change. And so it's good to reflect on those and figure out what those are.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing I think Julie and I wanted to do is just, recognize, the new moms out there and the caregivers out there who are, caring for elderly parents, people who are just in service, people who are teachers. Your jobs are really hard, and you're carrying a heavy load emotionally, physically, and we just want you to know that you matter too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a little emotional.
Yeah, you matter, and the work you do matters. It's important. And we just want to thank you for that. We want to thank you for the work that you're doing, and know that we see you and we see the struggle. And maybe listening to this is self-care.
Yeah.
Maybe shutting it off is self-care. That's okay too, whatever it is. We love you and you matter, and thank you for all the work that you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for being a part of our journey, because this is new for us and something we're figuring out, but something that we hope you find value in.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Shall we sign off, my lady?
We shall sign off. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.